My name is John Peterson, and at town meeting on June 21st, I will represent the AB Regional School Committee and request Acton support for Article 6, the Acton-Boxborough Regional School District budget. The development of a budget is a collaborative process between the school committee, the superintendent, and the district administration. With the spring elections, our school committee will be reformed after town meeting through the addition of Andrew Schwartz and Ben Blumenthal. We thank Diane Baum and Angie So for their service. This presentation and the budget are the result of work by this year's school committee. The year began and ended like no other. The schools adopted a hybrid model. Some students and families chose a hybrid learning mode. Some days in school, some days learning remotely. Other families elected a fully remote mode. At the elementary level, an entirely new remote school with new teachers and administrators was created. School choice took on a whole new meaning. In the meantime, students at Gates and Douglas adjusted to life in the shadow of the construction of our new elementary school building. In light of the ongoing pandemic, town leaders elected to delay town meeting, providing additional time for the development of our FY22 budget, and happily providing time for many of us to get vaccinated. We want our students to learn to be resilient. The district continued to model this behavior in our response to the challenges of this unique school year. Our administrative team made timely strategic and operational decisions in spite of conflicting information about COVID and changing and belated state guidances. Our students gained the ability to learn remotely and sadly realized that snow days were another casualty of the pandemic. We continued to provide food support to our community and served over 200,000 meals. The district is blessed to enjoy the strong support of families for our school system. As I look at the student looking at a laptop, I realize we broke every reasonable limit families ever tried to set around screen time. When we converted parents into IT support and hands-on teachers, we relied on more family contributions than the district had ever needed. For some students, more independent learning, a short commute, and a new school uniform were welcome changes. For some of our older students, developing independent time management and learning skills was an appropriate progression to life after AB. For other students, particularly our younger students, the changes stunted their development. Everyone was compelled to manage significant emotional challenges. As a community, we survived the pandemic. While we are proud of all that we accomplished, we recognize that we are in a recovery phase as we look forward to the new school year. Hardship tests us. Our staff, teachers, nurses, custodians, cafeteria workers, bus drivers, and office personnel all accepted new job responsibilities. No one ever had contact tracer in their job description. Our staff masked up and put their hearts and minds to the work at hand. On behalf of the school committee, I thank them for their extraordinary efforts. Thanks to the support of the Acton and Boxborough communities, our new school building project has begun. The building permit was issued in January, site work has progressed substantially, and the shape of the building is visible. In the fall of 2022, our students, families, and communities will enjoy a wonderful new facility. Financially, the school building project is in a good position as our change orders related to various aspects of site work, unidentified subterranean objects, aka ledge, were offset by favorable pricing in other areas. The guaranteed maximum price was a very favorable $89 million. The net effect is that our owner's contingency fund is a robust $4 million as we shift focus to new building construction. The new school building represents our long-term commitment to our students. It also represents our long-term commitment to the environment with a triple net zero design. Energy and water use have been thoughtfully addressed. We are managing construction waste and will augment our operational waste programs on building occupancy. We are just a year away from converting the artist rendering of Slide 8 to the reality of a new building. The frame of the new building is a reality. The last beam was placed in May, and we celebrated with a traditional topping off ceremony. Another virtual activity was organized. The opening of the new building will be a joyous in-person celebration. When the school committee started working on town meeting presentation a few weeks ago, we crafted the statement, AB vaccination levels are very high and increasing. Our students have shown true leadership. At the high school, 80% of our students are vaccinated, as are more than 55% of our junior high school students. Our sixth graders, the youngest group eligible for vaccination, have reached an astounding 65% vaccination level. We appreciate the effort of the community to minimize our health risk in FY22. The delay in town meeting has allowed us to have greater certainty about both state and federal aid. While we still face uncertainties, our budget is well positioned for the likely challenges of the new year. The budget process revolves around two big questions. What do our students need? And what are the financial resources of our communities? Strategically, we are introducing the use of multi-tiered support, MTSS, which will strengthen our literacy and math programs. The district's thoughtful reserve level, established during the early years of full regionalization, allowed us to minimize financial disruptions to our services during the pandemic. We need to return our reserves to appropriate levels. Tactically, we recognize that there is still uncertainty about state funding for our district, as well as rules governing the use of federal funds for the schools. As in the past year, we will aggressively pursue state and federal funds. Likewise, we will be carefully monitoring enrollment, particularly for kindergarten, which was disrupted by the pandemic. The Acton-Boxborough Regional School District budget for FY21 is $99.7 million, an increase of 2.9% over FY21. The Acton assessment is $67.5 million, an increase of 3%. Financial restraint in the school and town budgets result in a tax rate below the Proposition 2.5% limit. The budget respects our core values of equity, wellness, and engagement. ABRSD fully regionalized K-12 in 2015. In FY22, the increase in the budget is a return to normal after last year's large increase associated with the debt payment for the new school building. The transition period associated with full regionalization ended last year. The current assessments reflect a purely enrollment-based formula. For FY22, Acton's assessment will increase 3%, and Acton will pay 85% of the district assessment, while Boxborough's assessment will increase by 4.6%, and Boxborough will pay 15% of the district's assessment. A strong reserve enables strategic rather than tactical financial decision-making. Last year, town meeting approved a budget containing a pandemic contingency of $500,000. Fortunately, the district benefited from 4 federal programs, FEMA, ESSER, CARES, and CVRF, which covered $3.4 million of expenses. As a result, the $500,000 contingency will be returned to E&D at the end of the year, along with a significant portion of the FY21 appropriation from E&D. I encourage you to attend Acton Town Meeting June 21st and support Article 6, the Acton-Boxborough Regional School District Budget. Although this presentation is brief, all the supporting materials, including the detailed budget, are available on the school website. On-demand video of our school committee meetings is available at ActonTV. And as always, the school committee welcomes feedback at our meetings or via our email. Thank you for your continued support of our school district.